The summer of 1997 was a particularly vibrant one for the small town of Phillipsburg, Montana. The air was filled with the scent of pine, the laughter of children, and the sounds of the annual summer fair. This event was the highlight of the year, drawing families from all around Granite County to enjoy the rides, games, and mouth-watering fair food. Amid the hustle and bustle of the fairgrounds, a new attraction appeared, a quaint lemonade stand operated by two 12-year-old children. They were a boy and a girl, both with sunny smiles and cheerful dispositions. Their stand was decorated with colorful streamers and a hand-painted sign that read, "Fresh lemonade, 25 cents." The simplicity and charm of the stand attracted a steady stream of customers eager to quench their thirst under the hot summer sun. The boy had tousled blonde hair and freckles, while the girl had pigtails and sparkling green eyes. They seemed like any other children at the fair, giggling and chatting with each other as they served cup after cup of lemonade. They were accompanied by two adults, presumably their parents, who sat behind the stand, occasionally helping with the money and ensuring the children stayed safe. Around midday, the first signs of trouble emerged. A middle-aged man named Henry Thompson, a well-known local carpenter, began to feel dizzy and nauseous shortly after drinking a cup of the lemonade. He initially attributed his discomfort to the heat and continued to walk around the fair. But his symptoms quickly worsened, and within an hour, he was violently ill and unable to stand. Henry was rushed to the nearby Granite County Hospital, where doctors struggled to diagnose his condition. Soon after, others began to fall ill. A young mother, an elderly couple, and a group of teenagers all exhibited similar symptoms: severe abdominal pain, vomiting, and muscle weakness. Panic spread through the fair as more and more people collapsed. In total, 17 people were affected, 4 died, and 13 were hospitalized with critical symptoms. The connection between the victims was soon traced back to the lemonade stand. However, when authorities rushed to the scene, they found that the stand, the children, and the adults were gone. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. The sudden disappearance of the lemonade stand and its operators baffled the authorities. Witnesses could only provide vague descriptions of the children and the adults, and no one could recall seeing them arrive or leave. The town was thrown into chaos as rumors and speculations ran rampant. An investigation led by Sheriff Tom Rogers revealed a chilling discovery: the lemonade had been poisoned with thallium, a highly toxic metal that causes severe and often fatal poisoning. Thallium poisoning was rare and difficult to detect, which explained why the initial symptoms were so mysterious. But the question remained: who were these children, and why had they poisoned the lemonade? The FBI was called in to assist with the investigation, but despite their best efforts, no leads were found. The children did not match any missing persons reports, and the adults accompanying them were equally untraceable. It was as if they had never existed. The lemonade stand became the stuff of urban legend, a ghostly apparition that left death and misery in its wake. Over the years, various theories emerged. Some believed the children were part of a cult or a group seeking to make a macabre statement. Others speculated that the poisoning was an act of revenge or a twisted experiment. But without concrete evidence, these theories remained just that, speculations. As the years passed, the story of the poisoned lemonade stand became a dark part of Phillipsburg's folklore. Residents spoke of it in hushed tones, warning their children to beware of strangers and to be cautious of seemingly innocent appearances. The fair continued, but a shadow of fear always lingered over the festivities. Every summer, on the anniversary of the tragedy, the town held a memorial for the victims. Families would gather to remember their lost loved ones, and a moment of silence was observed at noon, the time when the first victim fell ill. The memorial became a symbol of the town's resilience and a reminder of the unanswered questions that still haunted them. In the summer of 2021, on the 24th anniversary of the tragedy, an elderly woman named Margaret Green visited the fair. She had lived in Phillipsburg her entire life and remembered the events of 1997 vividly. As she walked through the fairgrounds, she felt a strange sense of déjà vu. The sounds and sights transported her back to that fateful day. As she approached the area where the lemonade stand had once stood, she felt a chill run down her spine. To her shock, she saw two children who looked eerily similar to the ones from her memories. They were standing by a small, unmarked booth, watching the fairgoers with expressionless faces. Margaret's heart pounded in her chest as she made her way towards them. Margaret's hands trembled as she reached the booth. The children stared at her with vacant eyes, their faces devoid of any emotion. The boy's blonde hair was the same, as were the girl's pigtails. It was as if they had not aged a day. Margaret gathered her courage and asked, "Who are you?" The girl tilted her head, a faint smile playing on her lips. "We're here to watch," she said softly, her voice carrying an otherworldly tone. Margaret felt a wave of nausea and fear. "Why did you do it? Why did you poison those people?" The boy's expression remained blank as he replied, "We were told to." "By whom?" Margaret demanded, her voice shaking. The children looked at each other, then back at Margaret. "By the one who watches over us," the girl said cryptically. "He says it's time again." Before Margaret could react, the children turned and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. She tried to follow, but it was as if they had melted into thin air. Her mind raced as she tried to comprehend what she had just experienced. Margaret reported the encounter to the authorities, but without any evidence, her story was dismissed as the ramblings of an old woman. Yet, she knew what she had seen. The chilling encounter reaffirmed the legend of the poisoned lemonade stand, adding another layer to the mystery that shrouded Phillipsburg. As the years went by, the memory of the children and their sinister lemonade stand continued to haunt the town. The truth behind the poisoning remained elusive, buried beneath layers of fear and speculation. Phillipsburg moved forward, but the shadow of the past lingered, a constant reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved. And so, every new summer brought with it not just the promise of warmth and joy, but also the whisper of a dark legend, a story that refused to be forgotten. The fair would bustle with life, yet somewhere in the back of everyone's mind, there lingered a quiet fear, a silent question: what if they came back?